Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Difficult to Please podcast, episode 32.
32. Hey. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what this is. Yo, what is going on with your phone issue?
Hold on.
Oh, shit, your Google is calling somebody. The light's off. This is the Difficult to Please podcast, episode 32. I'm JV. I'm with Erwin and also Google Assist. What's up, dog?
Yo, what's up? This is Erwin back. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Your Google started going off.
I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? I didn't say your name, bro. We are recording on February 7th, J Dilla Day, and the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
game.
Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you know the vibes. Tom Brady again.
Yo, okay. So I was actually talking to one of my gamer friends about this. I was saying, I think we've talked about this too, but for this entire time we thought he agreed with me that we thought Bill Belichick made Tom Brady, and then like this year is just a testament to us getting proved wrong. That I think we hate to admit it, but we think Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever.
You know what? I mean, I've subscribed to that opinion too, where like, yo, it's just the Belichick system. He's the only one that's been able to succeed under Belichick. He's been the longest tenured player with the Patriots. But then it's like, yeah, obviously when you go, just change teams.
Tampa.
Yeah, and with a coach who doesn't have too much Super Bowl experience, so it's like, oh.
Seriously, like, when was the last time Tampa went to the Super Bowl? It was when against the Raiders, right?
I want to say that's the time. Yeah, with John Gruden. Yeah, that was like,
that was when,
but I don't know. Sports ball, bro.
I know. That was when, like, Gannon was still quarterback or something, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Why do I still know that? See, people don't think I watch sports. And I was like, oh, yeah, I actually do watch.
There's, like, specific memories, and I get that. But, I mean, obviously different. Usually this time last year I was hanging out at a bar with Rona, so now it's like I'm hanging out with Rona in times of Rona with a baby. So that's Super Bowl 55 for you.
I wouldn't even think he would have went to a bar anyways. Now that you have a baby, it's like, oh, this doesn't change. I'm still here.
I would have gone to a bar, family restaurant. Let's go, Dave and Buster's.
Okay, that's different. I imagine you went to like a local dive bar or something like that.
Yeah, you know what the thing is about the cool thing about Portland is that they'll say in the front of a restaurant or a bar, they'll say minors allowed, or it'll say no minors allowed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's not like a guessing game or like whatever, because every bar serves food, or any like drinking establishment serves food. So it's cool. So it's like, or like they'll say minors allowed until a certain time, and then, or like minors can be here, but they can't sit at the bar type shit. So
there's already like firm rules. That's actually pretty dope. That's dope.
There's no like gray area like in San Diego, like Polite Provisions. You think it's a restaurant, but it's a bar. But they're like, people bring their kids there. Like, oh no, we can't have kids here.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, you can go next door and hang out, but you can't be.
Provisions. Yeah. It's like, oh, we're the same restaurant. We're connected. It's just no kids here.
Yeah, no kids, no vibes.
No vibes.
But Super Bowl Sunday, different times, but we are recording. It's 11 o'clock
a.m.
It's probably, this is like the earliest time spot we did this podcast.
I know, it's always at night. I mean, it looks like night for me.
JB's a vampire. He has got a purple light, looking like he just finished his stream.
You gotta change the light.
And I'm sober. I'm sober. I gotta be sober until Super Bowl time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna get pre-faded. I am drinking a hard seltzer by Belgian Beaver.
No, it was like I need to chill. I was trying to figure out what else we had to do today, but here we are.
Okay. All right. So when was the last time we recorded again?
We recorded on the inauguration day of Joseph R. Biden.
That's right.
January 20th. And we had talked about we we talked about financial shit, and I wanted to just kind of like vent a little bit and kind of give my own perspective and shit
So
like
lots
that.
happened
But
in 2
then,
weeks.
yeah,
Holy
there's
shit.
a lot that's happened when it comes to financials and stock markets
Oh yeah.
and all that shit. So that's we're gonna kind of break down what happened in our eyes. I don't know. JV, talk about it. I don't know.
This
Fuck
shit's
it.
been funny for me because we basically the whole GameStop thing started happening, and from our last episode we were kind of talking about like stocks and stuff like that, and what will you do with money. So the whole thing with GM happened. It just blew up with like Wall Street bets, and like you can find other people who explain it better than us. But basically, stocks went up, everyone tried to jump in, and then like a few people came out good, but a lot of people got screwed over by it, kind of thing too. And whatever you call it, like a middle finger to like Wall Street and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's all that drama is happening. They were trying to do it to like multiple stocks, but I think that energy's kind of died down now, and everything's kind of returned back to normal a little bit. I think you still have your hardcore people who are like still holding stocks.
Yo, I mean, I get it. Like, if you're holding, you probably have a large amount
Yeah,
that you are invested at the top when you bought fucking high.
yeah.
And you were like trying to diamond hands through this whole thing, but you're like, yo, when it started dropping from like 300 or whatever, and then it started going,
450 high.
yeah, the peak.
Yeah.
People bought at the peak, and then it was like down to 300, 200,
Mm-hmm.
then 150,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're sitting on sub 100 for GameStop. So yeah, this is not financial advice, and it's not fucking loss porn, but I'm just saying, yo, like
That's
that's
wild.
you gotta fucking do your deep dives and fucking due diligence, because that shit, like, you can't expect to come up when you invested when it was like 10,000% or whatever of GameStop over the last month. So
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm not
dude.
I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I'm just saying, like, damn, bro, that's a lot of money that you might have lost.
So, I think. So the thing with stocks, I always found out is that a lot of single stock investors always say the same thing. You got lucky. I mean, that's just what they are. Like the guy who invests into one of the guys I followed who invested in Amazon said, "I just got lucky. That's it." It's like there's no skill. Like I think Scott Galloway said, you don't confuse luck for skill. It's like you might be really lucky in picking your stocks, but it doesn't mean you're good. It's just luck, and don't think you're skillful for that. And I think that's what people tried to do with this one. Um, you got into GameStop early. That was the only way you could. If you're doing it for like, I think there were so many different motives here for what happened at GameStop. Like basically you had one group of people who are trying to like who were willing to lose millions. I think one of the guys who started this lost 13 million on this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he was up already a lot
yeah.
because he put a user deep fucking value on Reddit, and I honestly don't remember what he started with, but he put in
He put in money.
way before it. He put
Yeah,
in like November.
yeah. So he already had an idea that he wasn't gonna come out on this, and like I don't think other people. That's why like the whole lost porn kind of thing, because like it was to prove a point, right? It was to
Mhm.
prove a point, but I also think there was a group of people who are trying to like take advantage of the situation and make money from it. And I think that's what a lot of people try to do. Like I remember my nephew was hearing stuff like, "Oh, I should buy the stock. I should buy the stock." He heard it from his friends. I mean, this is a group of 19-year-olds too. So for me, I looked at it and like, and the only advice I told, because I don't like telling people what to do, the only advice I told him was just be prepared to lose it. And he lost it. He lost almost a lot of it.
That's the
Uh,
saying. That's like fuck, Mark Cuban was like, yo, either you hold, this shit's gonna happen, or whatever. Like, you just gotta know what you're gonna. When it comes to investing this type of like risky ass stock, like, you have to be okay with letting that money go.
exactly.
It's like gambling, bro. Like,
It is
that type of
gambling.
shit is gambling. Like, if you have no exit strategy and if you're just trying to come up, you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
not
And
bad.
like I think there's always going to be these type of group of people. There's going to be, I mean, you look at the bell-shaped curve. You have your early adopters. You have the mass market, and your laggards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think a lot of those people who are not the early adopters, like the people who really believed in it, you know, I hate comparing this, but I don't want to say it was like the whole thing with the protesters and like the BLM movement, like the storming the Capitol, was that you had people who were out there with a purpose to like do harm, right?
Okay.
And that takes away from like the people who are trying to do good or whatever, or like do the peaceful protesting and whatnot, right? Because like that's just who people are. Some people just take advantage of a situation, right? God, I really hate making that comparison, but I really think that's what happens. Yeah.
Well, and that's what the idea you're touching upon when we talked about this offline is democratization and having the access to like the stock market so easily now. Because I mean, back in the day, like 10 years ago, there's no fucking Robinhood app.
Oh yeah.
The way to get to investment is like you have
Gatekeepers
to
all day.
Yeah, it's like the traditional like E-Trade, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade. The list goes on of like the people you have to like um walk into a place, do the whole application type shit, and then every time you trade you have a fee attached.
Yeah.
And even that's the thing about like what Robinhood did, because of like their no fee trading, is like they forced the industry to adopt no fees. I mean,
oh yeah, no, actually, you really want to talk about people who didn't like adopt fees? It was Vanguard first, and Fidelity did it too.
how was it?
And then
Yeah. So they forced the hand for the industry, right?
yeah, but you also need $1,000 to invest with Vanguard, but Fidelity did a zero. Open and stuff like that. So I'd say Fidelity was like one of the very first people to do it. But yeah, it just I think apps like I think it was apps like Robinhood and whatnot that did fractional shares, and that was like the big game changer. I think fractional shares were the huge game changer.
Yeah, I mean, because coming from obviously a like dumb perspective like me, it's like, oh, like I came from like before even going harder on stocks and investing, I was like doing crypto shit, and it lost porn like when I was doing doing Bitcoin back in 2013, 12, before this shit was happening. It's like, oh, just a couple dollars here or whatever, and then like I owned like partial points of Bitcoin. Now I'm like, oh, I can do that with stock. Why can't I do that with stock? So
right. So
lost porn.
like it's funny because my friend was like, "Oh, JV's one of the Wall Street headphones people," because I was kind of defending it in a little bit. But like just to clarify, like I don't support what's happening with hedge funds. I mean they've been doing this shit for like so many years already, and then, like people like the people on Robinhood and stuff like that. Like it's good. I'm kind of glad like companies like this are finally getting taste of their own medicine. And the only thing I think that needs to happen is there needs to be, I don't know what the policy should be, but there has to be a policy that would stop hedge funds and like mass mobs from like manipulating markets. Like I believe in like an ultimate democratization of like the free market. So I just don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, and like not to go too heavy or like too long on stonks, but like this whole thing behind the GameStop short and hedge funds, that's like the same shit happened with the financial crisis of 2008. That's
exactly
like
what happened.
literally the movie of The Big Short with fucking I want to say Michael Scott, Steve Carell. So it's like that's the movie. That's the whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the thing is, when the dangerous part of it is like if you have like, or what happened back then was like if you have money in the stock market and you have just like smart money or like the conservative part of money, like a 401k and IRA type shit. Like if your life savings, your retirement is in the market and shit like this happens to like the people who manage your retirement, oh, that's fucked. That's the shit that hurts. And that's why like the scary thing is like, well, like these hedge funds are just like, they're like, they didn't, or there's not a lot of people that in those hedge funds were dealing with like their retirement money is like people that are like 1% type motherfuckers, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like that's the thing that would have hurt is like everyday people that had like their retirements in those hedge funds that they were fucking with. So it's like, oh shit, that's when you fuck with like normal people's money like that in their retirement. That's like that shit hurts.
That's why you gotta diversify your bonds.
Diversify your bonds, man. Like this like it's the most like it's the most rudimentary and like most simple, but it's like, yo, you gotta diversify. You can't just fucking go all in on YOLO. No YOLOs on fucking Wall Street bet stocks. You gotta do DDs and you gotta fucking
dude, yeah, right.
know what the fuck you're doing, or like be conservative and take a risk on one thing, but it can't be 100%. Be like 20-25% type shit.
Do you think there's a like a weird formula, like how you're supposed to balance out your
Wouldn't you tell me about this? I feel like we've done this in like other episodes. Like you told me about this shit, dog.
Well, I feel like it's kind of different now because like your diversification changes.
I don't know.
I don't
know. If we put more in Bitcoin.
Some people still swear by property value. I guess I'm like, and some people don't anymore. For me, this is how I would do it. I would just buy index funds. Like if you're gonna retire, real estate investment still. And I was like, they recommend like 10 to 15% of your take home pay should go into retirement. I mean, you should be aiming for $500 a month in retirement, but that's if you can afford it. That's not our generation.
I was trying to do the fucking math. I was like that meme with the lady with the math. I was like, what the fuck?
Can't even afford one.
10, 15%.
15%. Fuck. But then, like, you take that 50% and then you divide that also into, like, I don't know. I've heard the Ramsey equation is 25 into big, 25 into medium, 25 into small, 25 into international. That's like his lazy way of doing it. I guess so. Like, big being big market, and medium medium market, this is low market. I would just buy. But see, that's why like someone told like my nephew asked me about like how to invest. I'm like, dude, it's so hard. That's why I do robo investors because they're a lot cheaper. As in, like, instead of paying someone 0.01%, you're paying a robo investor 0.005% or less than 1%.
So less than a Dogecoin.
Yeah, but then like, just imagine like how much your investor's taking money from you in the long run. Let's say you already have like $100,000 like in your bank account, and they're just taking 1% of that every year, every month, or something like that. Compared to a robo investor. Anyways, robo investors have been beating the market every single time.
Yeah.
Even Warren Buffett said it. Yeah. Mutual index funds. So they capture total market. You don't gain as much. You gain a very good amount, but it's like what? I think I made 15% alone for my small cap markets. So, I mean, it is
Hashtag
what it is.
Not ad. This is not
an ad. This is not an ad. Not an ad. But then it's so funny because like, because people say like the best way to invest is to do boring investment, right? Which is like the robo things.
It's like I remember back before the Bitcoin spike in 2017. Like Mark Cuban even said like,
oh, I love Mark Cuban now, man.
But fuck the Mavericks. But I will say like when it comes to investment into crypto is like, yo, you just. It's like that is like gambling, so don't put too much into it. Put like 10% in whatever you're investing into. So yeah.
Yep.
So
speaking of Bitcoin,
here's
my problem with Bitcoin, and I've vented about this.
JV rants on Bitcoin.
When you told me that, I remember like I was in bed. I woke up. I was like, wait, hold on. Let me talk about Bitcoin real quick. So just to catch up on everyone, what like Erwin and I've been venting about is that I think people are forgetting what Bitcoin is supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was arguing with Erwin. Bitcoin was meant to be a currency, not a security. And I'm not sure if I'm using my financial terms right, but let me just like at least speak what I'm like talking about. For me, in terms of security, I thought a security is kind of like a stock. Like you put your money into something, and then you expect it to grow so you can like, I don't know, like profit from it or something like that, right? Like you expect that value to grow. But then what I always understood Bitcoin to be was it was supposed to be a currency, agreed upon currency for exchanges, right? Like it was supposed to be 1 Bitcoin for, I don't know, like 1 year's subscription to like Adobe Creative Cloud or something like that. And
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna pay $40,000 for fucking.
yeah, so you know what I mean? Like, so that
Who's gonna pay $40,000 for Adobe? Fuck out of here.
yeah. So, but then like, so the whole thing with Bitcoin, at least how I was supposed to understand it, was that there would be no need for a central bank. You can take your Bitcoin, go to the Philippines, go to Japan, go to whatever, and there's like a set Bitcoin thing. It's like instead of saying like, oh, converting like 14,000 yen to like, I don't know, like $100 or something like that, it'd be like it's 0.02 Bitcoin, and like I don't know what it was supposed to, I don't know what the value is now, because I think the value just it's arbitrary, right? In a way, it's just I don't know how the value of Bitcoin comes up, because I feel like everyone with like 100 RTX 3080s in their BMWs trunks is just farming Bitcoin. Wait, have you seen that article, by the way, about a
Yeah.
dude? Okay, that makes me so mad, but okay.
There's a lot of processing power. Because of the spike in crypto, video and GPU cards have spiked, and it's fucked up for regular people who just want to play the computer games.
Seriously, it's insane. But do you see like my problem with Bitcoin is that if people keep mining it, the value keeps going up. It's super inflating. So, at what point do I go to another country, and like they're like, oh, I need, if you want this pair, it's 0.000000001 Bitcoin. Like there would have like everyone would have to have a store with real time Bitcoin transaction prices. You know what I mean?
No, I get that, and it's like I remember like going to the Philippines or like even traveling to Europe, and it's like they'll have the breakdown of like exchange rate per in digital like clocks type shit, and I get it. Like that would be kind of the thing, but I think we're at a point with the value of Bitcoin, we're not going to be able to use Bitcoin as it is, like because people are just going to hoard it.
Yeah.
People are going to mine and hoard. There's no point.
They're gonna think like, oh, if I have this, I'll have a lot of money, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, if everyone's gonna hoard it and no one's gonna use it, then it's
Exactly.
like security. It's like stocks. It's like investment. It's like retirement. You're just not gonna use it. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Well, because it's like going back in the day is like the reason, or part of the reason why Bitcoin was so popular in the dark web is like you were able to buy like
drugs, weapons,
drugs,
porn,
anything like on the dark web, just using Bitcoin. No cash transaction, it's no credit, whatever. So it's like that's why I like the Silk. Like I remember when Silk Road got shut down, I feel like almost 10 years ago now. It was like a dark website where people bought drugs and guns in San Francisco, and then it was like that was the point of like Bitcoin became kind of like a highlight on in the on the internets.
Yeah, I mean technically.
I
don't want to agree, but that's how Bitcoin should be used. Not for drugs and stuff like that, but it's supposed to be used for like common goods and stuff like that. It's supposed to be agreed upon currency for exchanges, and that's my problem with Bitcoin. I'm still hopeful about it, but I think people use things in the wrong way that just has so much unintended consequences.
So the point of having Bitcoin now is just as an investment, because like no one wants to spend any part of their Bitcoin because the value can go up at any time.
And if you want a market to work, people need to sell as much as they buy, and everyone keeps buying, keeps holding. The value doesn't go anywhere.
Because the point is like either you use another thing on the Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know. I understand the Bitcoin network or the Bitcoin platform or whatever. That's obviously whatever. But like, I think Ethereum is the more like, this is obviously not investment advice, not ad, but I think there's other cryptos that have more value in actual transactional like nature.
Really?
But
yeah, I'd have to do more research. There's so many coins out there now.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit coins and all that. So
if there was like a standard Bitcoin or something like that, who do you think would make it? I know PayPal was trying to get into it too, but
The weird thing is, wouldn't they be coming from a bank? Because in essence, you want a
No,
1-to-1.
you don't want. See, that's the thing. That's my other thing. Problem with Bitcoin is that we measure it to to current currencies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's already like defeating the purpose of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's supposed to be its own standalone thing that has its own value.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's like
but how do you measure?
Like,
yeah, how do you measure? How do you measure
yeah,
worth?
that's the thing. Is like, what do you?
You gotta go back to
the
olden
only
ages,
thing
man. Like I want 3 rocks for that goat.
we're not gonna barter for services in 20.
But that's what Bitcoin was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a
Well, we're not at that point anymore, dog. We're not buying drugs on the internet.
What
we're
if
not trying to buy
Amazon made their own
mollies.
Bitcoin? Amazon coin.
I mean, yo, Amazon could.
See, right? Amazon could make their own Bitcoin.
Amazon could,
make their
because
own
Jeff Bezos left, so that's lit.
Is it
I
lit?
mean, Jeff Bezos.
I don't know. He's the most liked CEO in the world.
Is he though? I thought it'd be like Steve Jobs. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. No, wait. Like to defend Bezos real quick. He is the most liked.
This is gonna be a hot take. This is gonna be the Instagram video. Tell him, JV. Defend Jeff Bezos.
Defend Jeff Bezos. Whatever you want to say about Amazon, Amazon has done more in the world. Jeff Bezos has done more than any like American entrepreneur in the world. I think I read a statistic somewhere where Amazon is in 82% households around the world, or something like that, or at least in the U.S. And like no other customer has that. No other base has that. Like if you think about it, Amazon provides goods and services. Like Apple only provides what? Products. Google only, Google and Amazon are two most respected tech companies out there because they provide more greater goods to people rather than just like you know what I mean? Like so like I said, Apple only provides hardware to people and they provide an experience, but Google and Amazon provide like goods to others to help the world be a better place.
The thing is with Amazon, and
I mean it's a big company.
Minhaj talked about it. He said that about Amazon, like because the Amazon Web Services, like the internet runs through Amazon.
That's a different problem. But you can't knock on Amazon for doing that. They just did it better than everybody else. You can't say there's antitrust with Amazon Cloud Services because that's the reason why Parler failed on suing them, because it's like, well, no, there's other cloud services. You have Microsoft Azure, you have Google Cloud Services, and you have Oracle. So that's not there's competition.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just happens that Amazon's running a game, and it's just like, can you hate them? Like that's.
I mean, Amazon is basically the Patriots, dude.
Yeah, like you could hate on them, but you can't knock on them for being good.
Like Jeff Bezos left, he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go to Tampa, so fuck y'all. See y'all in the Super Bowl."
He could do that.
I mean, Jeff Bezos is the first trillionaire. He made another billion in fucking the pandemic. So I mean,
technically, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world now.
Is he?
Yeah, he beat Jeff.
Oh, because of like the value of Tesla went up. Is that how that works and shit?
SpaceX.
Yo, did you see the rocket blow up from SpaceX? I know we're going on tangents, but
no, but it kind of just. I guess another big thing here is just like this is big money, man.
Yo, because I will never see. I don't know if I'll see a million in my life. I will never see a billion. I mean, yeah, by
in your
the
lifetime,
end,
an average person makes 2 million in their lifetime.
On my deathbed, like, yeah, where's my 2 milli?
It's like, oh, here's your whole ledger in life. Here's your 2 million.
You made 2 million.
Like, oh,
throughout your X amount of years. All right, just upload my shit to the AI and the cloud. Oh, we can start over.
Start all over again. Implant my memories, alter carbon.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's.
No, but I mean, like Jeff Bezos leaving is, when you're a trillionaire, do what the fuck you want. Like, seriously. I mean, for like a normal person, I think the only thing that, I can say about like, just because of the products are permeate throughout my life and shit like that, they own Whole Foods, they own the internet, they own
I mean, they bought Whole
Prime.
Foods. When you talking about, they don't own.
That's what I'm saying. They own
bought
Whole
that
Foods, so
shit.
it's like, the fuck. He's like,
It
yo,
wasn't their business. They just bought that shit. They're
yo,
like,
take that shit.
like,
Amazon.
people from La Jolla love shopping here. Buy that shit.
They're like, you want audio books? Here you go. You want more music? You want TV? We got that shit. So,
but that aligns with their mission statement to provide the best like.
I don't even know what the fuck is it. What is it?
To provide like the best customer oriented experiences. That's it.
Well, that's very broad.
It is very broad, but fuck, they did it right. You can't say Jeff Bezos did not do this for you, motherfuckers.
Jeff Bezos is trying to make a bill. I get it. He was trying to make a bill when everyone laughed on him back in the 90s for him to sell books on the internet. So
yeah, dude.
Whatever.
Someone said you should watch old Bezos videos from the 90s, and it's like super cringy and funny.
It's very cringe. Very cringe.
But yeah.
Because it's like weirdo white guy who's very like tech oriented.
He's like 30 something. So he wasn't young when he did that too.
He wasn't popping. Yeah. He was just like, yo. It wasn't like Steve Jobs and Wozniak. He's like,
yeah, everyone was pretty old when they did their tech companies. I mean, they said I think the youngest CEO right now is like Mark Zuckerberg, and he's only a few years older than us. That's it.
Well,
yeah, and you know,
we're not taking any money from anybody.
Huh?
I mean,
would you say?
I'm saying we're not sponsored.
Oh, I know we're not sponsored. I'm just trying to put things in
we do have an Audible, so that's kind of like a disclaimer. We do have
an Audible,
Audible account, but no one's bought anything on it.
Right.
So,
but disclaimer: we do have an Audible sponsorship. That's not the reason why I'm defending him, but I'm just saying. God, I forgot about.
Show your positions, bro. Show your positions, or fucking get the fuck out.
My positions, real quick. So I have
No, I'm just kidding, bro.
But I think that's fair. I see, like, they say journalists should do this too, but I think it's fair. I am a single stock investor into Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. So yeah, take what I said with a grain of salt, I guess.
Okay, and then I own
single stock.
A single stock, a partial share of Amazon. That's it.
Okay.
Also J&J. Shout out to the vaccine. Okay.
Not convinced yet, but okay. I don't trust J&J, but okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my positions related to this. I don't have anything.
Okay, cool.
Like hard.
So. The only reason why we mention Bezos and stuff like that right now is because it's like, what do you do with money? Like, you know, turn it back to the stocks real quick. So what did you do with the, like, what could you have done with the money? And like, you hear so many good stories that came out from that GameStop story. Like,
oh yeah,
like talk about that one kid again. With that
oh yeah, I don't have the article in front of me, but facts don't matter.
Yeah, that's not a fact.
No, it's. Yeah, it was one of the young men who invested in GameStop early, and came out in the green. Donated a bunch of Nintendo Switches and games to a hospital, to his local hospital in the Midwest, and it was like spent like $30,000 on like that whole donation. So I'm like, yo, shout out to you. Like it's what when you're young and you don't. You come into money like that, and that's almost like hitting the lotto, dude. You're like, you won't necessarily have a plan, but shout out to you if you want to use your money for good, because I mean it's a hard thing to do, especially when you hit that, like when you get lucky like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if you're not selfish about it, it's a good. I think it's a good use of money. Like if it, especially if you're. What, he did it to like a children's hospital, right?
Yeah,
especially you did it for something like that, man. That's good money spent. I mean, you might say like, "Oh, that's irresponsible. You could have just invested it." I'm like, who cares?
Well, what
man?
could he be done with all the money?
Invested, buy a house, wait 10 years, and spend. I don't know. That's so stupid. I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a present person, but I think the good you do now is also just as valuable as the good you do later. But I don't know. Just so many different things you could do with money. I mean, fuck. You could build tunnels under Miami and shit like that. Like Elon Musk. Oh yeah, so Elon Musk is like building tunnels under Miami now to help out with like their traffic problems. He's doing the same thing he's doing in LA. Now he's doing it
I
in
know he was doing
Miami.
it in Vegas too, like his experimental one in Vegas
Was it
too.
LA or Vegas? Oh yeah, so
I
yeah,
think
he's doing it in Miami too. Yeah, so you can do shit like that. You can do shit like that. You can try to
I
make
don't
the
know,
world.
man. You, like any of these billionaires are like they have the they don't have really good charisma, so they end up
Mm.
just reminding me of like comic book villains.
That's true. That is
like
true.
like Mark Zuckerberg is just like a robot. Um,
Oh
uh,
man, like
Jeff Bezos is basically Lex Luthor at this point. Elon Musk is like the weird kind of like uh,
I'll say Doctor
Doctor
Doom.
Evil,
Oh,
Doctor Doom. Rest in peace, MF Doom though.
I know recipes I'm doing.
No, but it's like Steve Jobs, not Steve Jobs. Rest in peace him. But
Yeah,
Bill Gates is
he's
like
not dead
okay,
yet.
like
Oh, I was about to say
yeah, Bill Gates is like
an
okay, like
octopus
he's just like
doctor or
some.
something.
Well, he ended up being a villain because everyone thinks he's putting microchips in every vaccine. So,
Dude, he was a villain back when he was like CEO of. Okay, he's not a villain now, but I'm just saying like people didn't think highly of him when he was CEO of Microsoft. So he was really, really stomping on competition back then.
well, even like I remember when you look back on the like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates press conference when they released Microsoft Office for Apple, like that was like West Coast versus East Coast on one stage. That's like that's like Snoop, not Snoop, but like
This is
Biggie
a,
and Tupac.
oh my god, I
I was
can't
like,
believe you made that
damn.
comparison. That's actually not incorrect though.
I was like, oh shit. I mean, it looks awkward because you're like, damn,
Cause like
this is
I just
legends, bro.
I just remember back legends, bro. I just remember back then seeing all the Apple and like PC. I'm an Apple and this is a PC commercials, man. That shit was so funny back then. Holy shit! Yeah, no, you're right. That was like a Biggie Tupac moment in tech. They all wearing lame ass jeans while doing it.
Well, okay, so then just
Oh yeah,
get to a
sorry.
point where like, okay, so we fucking I for the last 2 weeks talking about stonks and how we talked about financials in the last episode, I've been like, JV, I can't believe we're fucking talking about like we were on the fucking cutting edge.
We
We were
always on a
fucking
cutting edge. The fuck you
we,
talking
we
about?
were we were before the curve, dog. We were like, I mean, ahead of the curve.
There were a
Like,
lot of episodes where we were just hella ahead of the curve. I remember that. I just remember seeing things.
What's our prediction right now?
Damn
What are
predictions.
we fucking ahead of the curve right now? What are we talking about?
Huh. I actually didn't think about this. What's next?
What's next? Not just financials, just what's next? Robin
Education?
Hood's gonna lose all their money. I'm just kidding. What about
Education?
education?
I
And
think,
we're all, our loans are gonna get forgiven.
dude, if that happens, holy shit. Do you know how much GDP would go up? Holy crap. If you didn't have to worry about, like, even if you had like 30K cut off from your student loans, holy
Mm-hmm.
shit, that would be wild. People would be
Mm-hmm.
able to like go on with their lives faster. I think you would see more people buying houses, more people like buying shit. I think so. I think more people would live in the suburbs because like now you can afford to live a house. You don't have to pay whatever $300 to like $500 a month on like student loans. Granted, student loans is actually really cheap. Like what their interest rates are like 4%.
It's yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? It's still
no,
really
I
it's
get
really
what you're trying to
low.
say.
So, I mean, I just think it would give more people mobility. I think education might be the thing going on in the next few years. Oh, see, I don't want to talk about a few years. I want to talk about what's going to happen soon.
Like what the next month? What are we talking about?
Damn.
What's the shit that's happening in the month that we're like, oh yo, we talked about that. Or just like remember how, like after Charlottesville with we talked about like the First Amendment, like just one amendment doesn't override the other or something like that.
Dude, that was a while back. I
Yeah,
remember
right. We
that.
talked about that. I was like, yeah, one amendment doesn't override all of them.
I really think there needs to be a realignment because I was reading stuff about the Keystone Project
Mm-hmm.
and how a lot of people lost jobs and they don't believe the Biden administration is going to help them out. And I think that's a real concern going forward. Like, how do you bridge the gap into like the new future? Like, how do you start investing into like green stuff, but
Universal basic income. We were ahead of the curve of that shit too. What's up, Andrew Yang? Come on the podcast. I dare you.
Andrew Yang was so ahead of that. Like, he's the reason why I believe in UI now. Like, I did not believe in UI until he. But what's so okay? So sorry, just to rant on UI real quick. It was crazy seeing how good people were off last year because of UI. Like, we had, I think, low poverty last year because of UI. It was like unbelievable how low it was. And then the stimulus checks are coming, man.
Let's get that stimmy, bruh.
Dude, I think the Biden, like I think we talked about this, the Biden administration's like, all right, man, fuck this, we're doing this. And I think those Republicans, a lot of them are just they have to virtue signal that they're against it. But then I think in the end they're like, yeah, not much we can do about this, and we did what we did. I think, like we talked about, I think the pendulum is just swinging the other side now. So okay, let's theoretically, if you got your stimulus check, what would you do with it? If you got $1,400 like next month on top of your tax return.
Oh shit, tax return.
Yeah, sorry, I filed them on already, so I'm just waiting for it. 1,400, go.
1,400, yeah. Honestly, it would go into savings. Like, we gotta be like the grown up shit is like, yeah, we gotta put more shit into our savings. One of us was out of a job for a while, so like we gotta put that shit back.
Got it. Okay.
Like, it's like the most like responsible thing. It's like the most unsexy thing, but it's just the reality of it. Like, yeah, we would just have to put it back in savings.
Fair.
Like, if we got like $2,000 a month or like some like universal basic income type shit, yeah, like that's going to a fucking investment or something, or so we can get to a house at the point of like we're clearing more debt or whatever. So
yeah, clearing more debt, saving toward house. Yeah, no, those are all like responsible ways of doing it.
It's the most responsible bullshit. It's hey being 30.
Yeah,
hey being in your 30s is more responsible bullshit.
It is. It is. What would you do with like if you were in a situation where you're comfortable but not like well off? Yeah, I think you would. The correct situation is to pay down debt and save. But then like
that's what I'm saying. It's the most fucking dumb thing, but you have to. It's like shit.
And if you're well off, you put into savings and you invest it. Like, I'm just trying to think of the different tiers. Like, if you're really well off, you invest it and you save it. If you're in middle class, you pay down debt and you save it. And if you're like not high income, it's
necessities.
Yeah, it's necessities, and that's crazy.
It's like living paycheck to paycheck. It's tough. I mean,
it is tough. 2000s
obviously, yeah. I've done that. Like, where I'm like, yo, like with tax return money, I'm like, yo, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say this. I got like my credit card debt or whatever loans or whatever. Yeah, I just gotta take care of it.
I think it's crazy too, because they were talking about if there would be another stimulus check. I think everyone would be in agreement. And I was like, yeah, some people actually don't need this anymore. Like, probably if there's another round of stimulus, I don't think people making over $50,000 would get it, to be honest.
Well,
but that scales, right? Because each state's different. Yeah, each state's different. Like, getting like $50,000 in Arizona is different from getting $50,000 in California.
Yeah, so. That's the thing. That's the thing.
And that's the hard thing. But you know what? Good things are hard to do. So
look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Fucking low Paul, right?
Yes, that's like a really great clip.
Wrap this shit up, man.
Kind of like, close up. If there's one thing that is going to happen within the next month or even the 6 months, I think we're going to talk more about crypto. I think that's the next thing.
I hope not.
I hate talking about crypto. I don't want to talk about financials, but I'm like, I feel like we're going to keep talking about it because that
Part of
the
culture
prices,
now,
yeah,
man. It's
bruh.
people are actually talking about stocks and shit now. It's so weird.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if Bobby Hundreds, Jeff Staple, if they're all talking stonks, and like if the people who kind of gatekeep, not gatekeep, but have a pulse on culture, internets and like youth culture, it's like if they're talking about it, then obviously there's people, I would say kids, but like people younger than us who are all about that life or who want to be a part of that life. So that's what it seems like it's gonna be.
Dude, I just want to talk about culture again, man, because like there
Yeah,
hasn't been culture.
I hate tongue.
Like, what was it, like? What's culture nowadays? It's TikTok, right? It's memes.
I mean, TikTok is driving,
TikToks,
memes.
VTubers. It's gaming, and like that's what's current culture right now. No one talks about the next Ultra Boost and collab and stuff like that. Like, I was on Hypebeast the other day, and I'm just like scrolling down, like, wow, none of this interests me anymore. Like, stay at
That's
home.
how you know you're getting you're aging out of the fucking the demo.
I don't think it's really aging out. It's just, well, other than like Hypebeast's like thing changed, but you know, whatever. They're a good website. It's still good. But when you like, I mean, I don't always vibe with their music, with the new music, so it's whatever to me. But then when I like look at the fashion and stuff like that, they're like, I look at it and I'm just like, a lot of this either feels like a repeat of like 2010 or it's just like not new to me anymore. And like I'm thinking about what Bobby Hundred said about like street culture and stuff like that, like how it keeps going and going and going. And I think that's true. I think it's gonna keep going, it's gonna keep evolving, but I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just the type of person that doesn't get excited much anymore, and I don't want to say
become a jaded old man.
I don't want to say I'm jaded. I just want to see something dope. That's it.
Yeah,
I just want to.
I get what you mean, because like the stuff I barely visit Hypebeast now, and the thing I consume more is like Instagram content or people like pushing that shit.
Fucking That's it. Instagram, holy shit!
Just follow all my meme accounts and my fucking anime meme accounts. Oof, it's all lit.
Just speaking about like, let's dive into culture a little bit since we're already talking about a little bit of culture. Just for like a quick 10 minutes. We still got time.
All right, 10 minutes. We've been an hour into this shit. Let's go.
What's your Instagram like? Just to make like turn things a little brighter. What's your Instagram like follows? Like, what do you like to follow? Why have you been following like anime stuff? That's what I want to know.
The people who I follow, like just like homies, the last month, whatever. And homies I used as a blanket gender term for anybody. So this is all inclusive of
homies and homettes.
Yes.
Okay.
Men, women, NBs.
Got it.
Whatever's thems. Yeah. So it's like people on my feed like started posting like no context Sailor Moon, and it's just kind of like a Instagram account where they kind of take screenshots of the old Sailor Moon stuff and just like it's a Serena plus like just like a weird kind of like subtitle of like a vibe. So then like I was like, oh, that's actually very poignant. Like that I relate to that right now. And then I started following that. And then on top of that, I started finding more anime vibe content.
God, you just send it to me all day.
The algorithm gets me after that. I was like, yo, I like this. And then like my Instagram reels is like more like anime vibes.
Which is so weird because usually that would be something I would be into, but I don't go on Instagram for that. That's so weird.
Yeah, so like
we're kind of reversed on that, which is interesting.
Yeah, and when it comes to culture, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting perking up again. Like, oh yeah, culture, yeah, internet, fucking. What I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago? It just feels like a blur. How the Hundreds did a collab with Puma, but then they kind of centered their campaign around made up. No, they made up like anime archetypes. So their whole kind of like campaign to release their collab was about like three archetypes, like the sports jock, the nerd, cool nerd, or like the goth or whatever. So
Okay.
like they kind of created these like anime kind of Akira like characters to promote their campaign. So I think when it comes to I think uh culture, I think we're at a point with internet because like the acceptance of like the things that we consider niche, like anime, that's the stuff that we kind of like built our kind of like brands upon, or like our own vibes and uh our own art creative work around. It's like that's becoming more like into the mainstream shit now.
Yeah, that is nuts. So do you see anything that's kind of like underground that's becoming mainstream, or do you see anything now that's considered underground?
What I consider underground right now,
Yeah, like if anime was like anime culturism is, I mean, I still think it's still semi underground, but it's popping up.
uh-huh.
But like, do you see anything that's still considered underground?
Man, that's like some 2006. I'm like, yo, what's underground? What's mainstream, bro? I only fuck with the underground.
It's
I
hard to
only
be
listen to underground hip hop.
it's hard to be underground now because the
Rest in
internet's.
peace, Jay Dilla.
I know, rest in peace, Jay Dillon, you jockeys.
Well, and I think the only thing, or because of what BTS and K-pop have done as their niche, and they brought their mass appeal to a bunch of teenagers and TikTokers and all that. Like people accepted more of what we thought was super niche 20 years ago, like BTS.
Fucking
Like,
K-pop.
yo,
Yeah.
I know we talk about this all the fucking time, like how Baby Vox was super poppin', and nobody's was listening to Baby Vox besides like the like weird anime kids and like
The K-pop
people
lovers.
who K-pop lovers who just would uh find their music videos on fucking
I was
not
just like,
even
what was the video service back then? I think it was like Kazaa Light back then. Holy
it was
shit.
like you would know, like the Korean blogs would have to talk about it, or like you have to watch like some kind of Korean music video international channel type shit, like a countdown, something like that, or like live in Koreatown in LA and have like community access cable. I don't know. What I'm saying is here is like it's because I'm like so not underground. Like I kind of see what's like what pops up on the feed for me. So I think right now the underground would be like something on TikTok. But I don't know what like culture of like that can permeate into kind of like an acceptance of mainstream or whatever. So it would have to be the TikTok or some kind of gaming community.
Damn.
Like I don't know if VTube would be popping yet. Like, I don't know if that would work here yet.
I don't know. There's a American VTuber named Code Miko that does Twitch stuff. I can't watch it, but it's hard for me to watch. But yeah, I mean, yeah, VTube is a different beast. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it
did
is.
I show you this chart? But like they're doing like the top 5 female
No.
VTubers, or top
Mm.
5 female streamers in the world, and one of them was a VTuber. Number 4 was a VTuber.
Who's number one? Pokemon?
No, it's this girl named Valkyrie something from
Oh,
YouTube. Like,
okay.
and Pokemon's number 2 on Twitch, and then like
See, that's the thing. I only know like Pokemon from like AOC.
yeah, I mean
She
she's,
did the
she's an
stream, like,
icon, yeah.
just so right now, it's like, what is underground? What's the thing that people are writing on? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. It's like it has to be streaming where the kids are at, or like
Yeah,
if the attention of like the youths are not in real life, they're on the internet. So
Yeah.
wherever they're at, whether that's Minecraft, whether that's Fortnite or Valorant or any kind of other online community, that's where it's going to be at until we get to a point where we get to Neo Tokyo and the angels start dropping and we have mechanized suits created from the DNA of angels. Like I shared JB the Bernie Sanders shit once. Yo, we peaked when they did Bernie Sanders as the commander, bro.
Oh my god, man.
Woo, that was the shit, man. I was like, that was giving me life.
Well, I guess real nerd news real quick. Japan finally built their 1-to-1 scale Gundam.
Oh yeah.
It kind of moves now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's getting there.
Let's get in there. We just need the angels to drop and the Lance along us. Let's fucking go.
All right, man. Let's just leave it at that. This is so weird. Usually I'm the one who talks about stuff like this, but this is so weird. I'm hearing it, and I don't know how to react to it.
Why is Erwin sharing all this anime shit? What the fuck?
This must be my jam. That's my territory.
I will say this before we end. Me and the family are watching the reboot of Sailor Moon on Hulu. It's pretty sick.
I heard.
I was like,
really
oh
good.
shit, yeah, let's go.
How does Amelia like it?
She likes the colors. I also started watching into. I got back into watching Food Wars.
It's so good.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's right. I didn't finish the series. I haven't caught up. It's like, I have to watch it on dub now. It's not the way I want to watch it.
Right? Because you have
yeah,
baby hands.
I'm like, yeah, that's the thing now. I'm like, oh, I would like to watch it in sub, but I don't have the attention span because I'm like, oh, I gotta have baby here and then. Okay. Anyways, fuck that. We're here.
We here.
Episode 32.
32. Trying to talk about
culture anime.
Yeah. I hope we talk about culture again, man. That's all I want.
Let's talk about culture, man. We're talking about this advice shit. We're talking about stonks.
For real, though.
And the next episode, we're like, oh, yo, did you hear about Sailor Moon popping?
See, I want to go back to that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, no, it was a good follow up from our last episode. I think our first
we close that shit out, man.
Yeah, we closing this out, man. It's done. Like COVID, we closing it out right now.
Get your vaccine. Get yourself vaccinated.
Yeah,
here.
wear a mask. God damn it. All right, man. I'm
double mask, KN95, and the cloth mask. Let's go.
Oh shit! All right, man. We're gonna dip out now. Thank you for listening. This is episode 32. Peace out, everyone.
Peace. Let me stop recording.